birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new day, it's a new
Race number 1 of the round of 12. It is Michigan International Speedway, the INVETS Trucks Series, and GoatLocker Racing coming to you live from Maconi Entertainment. We have dwindled it down to the final 5 races of the season, and it's all about the 12 drivers in the playoffs. Dylan Coyle alongside Jeremy Briggs, DJ Lyon in the production booth for you tonight. And we've got some excitement here. 50 laps at Michigan, the 2-mile D-shaped oval. It's got some solid banking. The surface has definitely worn down a little bit. 18 degrees in the corners. But I'll tell you this 100%, Jeremy, getting those tires on the seams can be treacherous.
Those seams, if you've ever seen them in real life, are ginormous, and it takes away a lot of that contact patch on those tires. And if you're not careful and you're behind somebody, not only will you be on that seam, but you can get aero tight, aero loose. Let's take a look at the rest of the schedule.
Yeah, so we start off at Michigan, then we go to Richmond. Right from Richmond to another short track and to another long speedway. Lots of different tracks, types of tracks in these playoffs, but what is consistent among both the round of 12 and the round of 8 is the fact that there is a short track that will be, well, back-to-back, the end of the round of 12, the start of the round of 8. Let's look at the playoff field. David Duke won the regular season title with Benjamin Stevens in second. Andrew Player, Tyler Justice, and Chance Taylor round out the top 5 drivers coming into this race. You can obviously see the rest on your screen right now. Only Duke, Stevens, Player, and Justice have any bonus points, playoff points, if you will, going into this 2-race round of 12. Everybody else, from Chance Taylor all the way down to Johnny Caulfield, are tied at 1,000 points. But it is just about time to get going here with the starting grid at Michigan, and Lucas Lyons will grab pole position. A bit of a change between he and Eddie Smith. Smith usually getting the pole in recent races, but he missed out on it by just 0.004 of a second. Can he go for 5 straight wins here? Brett Bieber will start in 3rd, while Travis Bieber will start in 4th. And so far, you don't see any playoff drivers in that top 5 position. Abert, Benjamin Stevens in 6th. You'd have to go down to 6th place with Stevens to see the first playoff driver in that field. Continuing down, Tyler Justice, Cameron Westenberg, Johnny Caulfield, Kendorian Davis, your top 10. Andrew Player, George Jewell, Jeremiah Holt, Michael McCarthy, Ricky Riley, Colton Lanford, Tommy Lemley, Brandon Wallace, your top 9 rows. Thomas Parker, James Kaufman, Chance Taylor, Jacob Lenke, and Ricky Sisk, the 23 drivers who set a time. Bobby Germain starting in 24th, the back of the field. 24 trucks, 50 laps here at Michigan. It is going to be a bit of a challenge, especially when it comes to, just trying to deal with the draft. It's going to be difficult to get away from anybody if you're in the lead of this race.
A lot to manage, especially for these playoff drivers here, Dylan. 2 races, 1 mistake here late in this race. With only 50 laps being the distance could end your playoff hopes early on. As I said, round of 12 dwindling down to 8. We'll take a look at our Maconi setup shop weather conditions, clear conditions. 74 degrees, 86 degrees on that track. Temperature of the north, wind of 2 miles an hour. Like we say, look at those seams of those trucks go over them. They're huge. Got to be careful here as the playoffs are underway.
Not even gonna lie, I can't remember the last time we had a race under the daylight conditions. Usually, we've been racing at night in this Sunday Truck Series. Obviously, Michigan does not have any lights set up for it, so this 50-lap race will be contested in the daytime, and with that 86-degree track temperature, it's a bit hotter than drivers are used to so far in this series, in this season that is. 50 laps, 55 mile per hour pit road speed. All these drivers do get 1 fast repair that might come into play for many of them, especially early on. All fixed setups, and of course, 2 tries at a green-white checkered if it is needed. Last thoughts before we go to green, Jeremy?
This is going to be really exciting. The playoffs are underway. Lucas Lyons is going to lead us to the way. I cannot wait to see this pace truck pull off. We're ready for another great night of GoatLocker Racing.
50 laps. That is all in this race. 100 miles of racing activity. The pace truck down pit road. Lucas Lyons gets the green flag. We are underway here for the opener in the round of 12. Both Eddie Smith and Lucas Lyons side by side across the line. Eddie Smith leads lap 1, but Lyons will fight back on the inside. Brett Bieber looking to get out of that arrow wake. He is in, currently in 3rd place. Benjamin Stevens, Charles Abert fighting for the top 5 as well. Oh, is there a wreck in the back of the pack? Coming off of turn 2, one driver went way down and is all good, somehow saved it.
I believe that might have been the number X or number 10 or X Roman numeral of James Kaufman getting into that wall. Looks like he is still under power and still underway. See if he can hold on to that draft. As you can see, all these trucks bobbing and weaving right now, trying to find the clean air through the turns, but trying to get behind somebody down these straightaways to keep up their momentum. Look at these trucks battling out of turn number 2.
Curious to see how Brett Bieber's run down this backstretch would have been. He goes down the block. There's a run, though, from Ben Stevens. Bieber took a very wide entrance into turn 1, but because of that aero tight that he got going into one with Eddie Smith and Lucas Lyons, it was almost impossible for him to get a good run. That's why Benjamin Stevens is fighting for P3 right now. And just a reminder to everybody watching, make sure to go to GoatLockerRacing.org/donate. As a contributor to GoatLocker Racing, Inc., we make sure your donation goes directly to supporting our cause of helping military veterans and first responders. And we thank you for your generosity, as almost 2 trucks, how about 3, deciding to go down, almost passing. One did. That white line separating the apron from the track.
Touch it real quick back on that donation with GoatLocker Racing as we ride on board here with the number 99 of Brandon Wallace. And you can see that awesome driver cam. Gotta thank Brandon for that. GoatLocker Racing giving back to a lot of real life causes, a lot of veteran oriented stuff. It's great to see, especially around giving back, giving thanks. This is the time of year that GoatLocker really steps up, and they do it all year, of course, but great to see, a great cause. Glad to be a part of it.
Brandon Wallace, truck gets into the wall just behind him. It might have been Thomas Parker or George Jewell, but there definitely was a hit to the outside wall. So far, we're just about 5 laps in of green flag racing. Nice to see. We've typically had first lap incidents over the last few races in this series, but it's been clean so far.
Broadcasters jinx, and very shortly, I'm just kidding.
I know.
As we watch these drivers still running, see, look at Colton Lanford here.
There's the jinx. There's a wreck coming out of 1 and 2. The 25 and the 51 both got involved there. Kendorian Davis in the 51, Colton Lanford in the 25, and right on cue, the broadcaster's curse comes to bite us. Or bite me, I should say.
Team effort here, it's all right. As we're taking a look at this Maconi Entertainment replay, look at the number 18 under there, under the number 25. We got Colton Lanford, nowheres to go, as the number 51 of Kendorian Davis got spun, it looks like right there in front of him. Not sure, we'll take another look at the replay here.
Yeah, we'll catch another look here. This is coming down the front stretch, and Kendorian Davis in that 51 machine trying to get a good run here, and I think he slowed up a bit. He kind of just got run right through by the 808. Was that of Brett Bieber, or
that was the 08?
The 08 of Ricky Riley. I was going to say Bieber's up front. Yeah, he just kind of drove through Kendorian Davis right there. It might have been a little bit of net code if going through the truck was something that, you know, will come into play as it goes on. But nonetheless, yikes, that was drove right through. But nonetheless, our first caution period around 5.5 laps into this race, 44 to go, and everyone deciding to bring it down pit road, and some of this might be more for fuel strategy than anything else. I think some drivers were a little concerned they wouldn't be able to make it on just one stop. This should, in theory, get them the rest of the way with only needing to go into the pits for one more stop. Obviously, you've got tires, you might as well use them as well, but if you want to gain track position, expect some trucks in the back to maybe just go fuel only, and that's exactly what we're seeing from some of the competitors here.
Looks like a lot of mixed bag strategies. 2 tires, fuel only, 4 tires, damage repair. We'll take a look throughout the field. Looks like Eddie Smith right there losing a few spots, finds himself outside the top 5 coming to this next restart after this exchange on pit road.
Well, I feel like what we've seen so far from the opening few laps is that track position is hugely important here. Everybody was kind of running right nose to tail, and, you know, it's going to be hard to separate yourself. So if you can't do that, or if you can do that, I should say, then maybe it's not due to the tires. That's the only thing. So some drivers, I think, just going fuel only, especially if they were in the back. Really solid idea to do that, a change of position, and some help, as Colton Lanford right there is using that MetaQuest 3 headset to observe everything going on in that truck. And what an awesome scheme. That 2012, I believe it was, Dale Earnhardt Jr. paint scheme that occurred right at this racetrack. Won that race, if I recall correctly, at Michigan. You see some damage on the front end, so he is not using his fast repair at this moment.
You took the words right out of my mouth there, Dylan, as the rest of the field's getting, looks like, yep, just use that fast repair, realizing he's going to need to use that to have speed. As we're not even time lapse into this race, unfortunately, one driver, maybe two or three, haven't used that fast repair. As we're coming back to the green to get Brett Bieber and Benjamin Stevens, your front row.
This is an interesting front row, and Lucas Lyons and Eddie Smith will restart in row number 3. It'll be a unique kind of look at what these drivers can do when they don't have all the clean air right up in front. For Benjamin Stevens, who we're currently riding on board with in that PBR machine, we'll see if he can take that 24 up top of the board and maybe even get himself into the round of 8 automatically. Remember, Benjamin Stevens is a playoff competitor here. Not too many right now having the success that they'd want. Stevens, though, is an anomaly so far in this race. We're going to go back to green flag racing, 24 drivers all on the lead lap. And green is in the air, 41 laps to go, and a horrible restart for Benjamin Stevens. He did not get going in time, and immediately Travis Bieber is going to try and pounce on Brett Bieber.
We've got the Beavers up front right now, barreling out of turn 2, side by side for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and on back, trying to get positions wherever they can. Some trucks 4 tires, some trucks with just fuel, trying to see where the strategies are going to lead them, because it is extremely hard to pass. They're trying to get these drivers to get that advantage on this pit strategy in case we go green to the end.
Eddie Smith, he's got 4 fresh Goodyear tires down on the bottom. Will Brett Bieber try and get his aerodynamic tightness back into that 87's wake? Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen there. Bieber tries to get down to the bottom, but he didn't get down all that much. Smith takes P2 away and now goes into snake mode. Gets to that left rear quarter panel, almost made contact with Brett Bieber, and this should be an easy move. Eddie Smith, some fantastic driving to get him into P1 once again. To give you an idea of his speed on the restart there, Lucas Lyons still struggling to make headway from P5.
Eddie Smith taking no prisoners right here, finding himself back at the top of the board. Brett Bieber now falling back there to 2nd, with Travis Bieber right there in 3rd. Lucas Lyons and Benjamin Stevens, your top 5. All these trucks trying to just get every position they can right now. See if we get these drivers get another good run here. See if the tire fall off is any play. See if the drivers that took those 4 tires really get that advantage. See if these trucks migrate, but right now it looks like the bottom line is the fastest line. As you can see, Eddie Smith all the way down on that apron, trying to just break away from this field that's pretty much 2 wide, 2nd on back.
These drivers doing a really solid job of all sticking with each other. George Jewell, probably the biggest gap between he and Chance Taylor in the field. More trucks starting to snake down to the bottom. Must have been a holdup on the high side there. Many drivers deciding to go down low near the apron, but we're coming to 37 laps to go here, and look at all the speed that Jewell has from this very long draft. And are we wrecking right in front? Save it! 1 car, 1 truck into the wall, 1 down into the grass, and somehow we stay green. Holy cow!
George Jewell didn't even blink. Just drove right through it.
What happened to Chance Taylor?
Here.
This could be
14.
massive for Chance Taylor when it comes to the playoff situation. Comes in tied for one of those positions, and he just went into the wall. Is there
Was
an
he broken?
actual... I don't know if there was something broken there or maybe a real-world issue. Oh, he's struggling big time
Yeah, I
there.
think he was broken prior to going into the turn.
I mean, this could have massive implications for his playoffs here. He'll be able to crawl it into the pits and get that fast repair, but he'll still need to stop another time before this race is over. So it's not really, you know, any break or any sort. If he got 15 or 10 more laps, he might have had a chance to not have to come back into the pits, but that is not the case. He'll go at least one lap down here as we follow on board with the top 3 battle. Brett Bieber alongside Benjamin Stevens. Stevens is covered off by Bieber down on that inside line. Eddie Smith, Lucas Lyons, 1-2. Tell us when you've heard that before.
As we had just made that pan, I don't know if Chance Taylor might have been involved in that incident with the trucks that were coming off of turn 4 that had contact, the one that went through the grass there. Not sure if that was related to that. Like you said, going down a lap, if not maybe more, just not getting, if he's not going to be caught back up with the draft. Let's see how that plays out. Take another look at a replay. This is on that restart. Lots of trucks here in the back getting bottled up, coming to that green. A little bit of contact throughout the field. A couple trucks there towards the rear on that inside line.
It's going to be a quick race nonetheless as Chance Taylor, we're going to catch another replay of what happened to him. This is him coming into the pits. Was there something else that happened? Very impressive stopping ability. and Chance Taylor, is he back into the pits? Yeah, it does appear so. So I'm not sure if he already used a fast repair or not. Very questionable strategy playing out there after an unfortunate moment for him earlier in this race as Smith goes quite high, takes that higher middle groove through 1 and 2. Oh, and coming off of turn 2, one truck spins into that asphalt apron, and the caution is out. Michael McCarthy, a hard hit into the inside wall. Or did he stay off of it? We'll catch it here.
Taking a look at this replay, coming off of turn 2. Looks like just got loose, tried to chase it up the track, found the outside wall.
Ah, that is a hard hit.
A little contact there. That might be another fast repair, or so it might be a fast repair if he hasn't used one yet.
Yeah, that's
started chasing it up the track, not sure, just got loose and tried to stick in it, and unfortunately found a little bit of outside and inside wall.
Could have been a lot better, or a lot worse if he wasn't able to get that truck kind of tilted back to the right with a Scandinavian flick, I believe they call it in rally racing. But nonetheless, we're going to take a quick break on Maconi Entertainment. And by the way, Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Entertainment, it's your home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more on the iRacing service. Subscriptions are available for as low as $8 per month. It's the official setup shop of eNASCAR and the official series sponsor of the NASCAR C-Fix Series. MaconiSetupShop.com. Maconi Entertainment is where you're watching some INVETS Trucks Series GoatLocker Racing action. We'll be back.
Hey everybody, Patrick here with GoatLocker Racing. We got the truck loaded up, getting ready to head north up to Muncie, Indiana. About an hour and a half drive. Get this sim rig in the hands of Josh Unger, our newest veteran that has joined the GoatLocker Racing family. Can't wait to get it in his hands. Folks, we just pulled up, so let's get this thing delivered. Alrighty, that was a whole lot of fun. Got the sim rig dropped off to Josh. He's as excited as could be. Got to meet his 2 boys, his wife, and everything. He's going to get everything set up and ready to race. So congratulations again, Josh. Welcome to the GoatLocker Racing family, and thanks to everybody that makes this happen. I want to give a special shout out to the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs and the grant they gave us to make this happen. INVETS, you guys are awesome. You are the ones that helped us identify this veteran and so many more. So stay tuned. We got more sim rigs rolling out. And be sure to follow us on all the social media and head over to our website, www.goatlocker.org. Take care.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Just under 30 laps remaining here at Michigan International Speedway in the INVETS Trucks Series. GoatLocker Racing action on Maconi Entertainment. Dylan Coyle, Jeremy Briggs bringing you the action here from Michigan. And in the Irish Hills, the trucks are about to do some more work. Our second caution period is about to end. Track temperature has remained the same, as has the air temperature. 86-degree track, 74-degree air, and 29 laps to go is when we'll get back to green flag racing. Back underway, Barney the Flagman waves the green flag, and Cameron Wessenberg will take the green as the race leader. Differing strategies all throughout. Everyone still needs to pit one more time. So some stayed out, some decided to come down into the pits, and Wessenberg goes side by side with Eddie Smith looking for his 5th straight win, and he takes the lead away. Lucas Lyons in tow.
Lucas Lyons not getting off the back bumper of that 87 machine of Eddie Smith, either trying to get him really arrow loose. He's right there trying to just stick with him. Because once the 87 started pulling away, it was no match for everybody else. As you can see right there in third, you got the 808 of Brett Bieber trying to set his sights on those first 2 drivers as they barrel down into turns 1 and 2 at over 180 miles an hour around the turns. Incredible speeds here at Michigan.
I'll be honest, man, I didn't think that you could get any tighter between 1 and 2 as a hornet's nest in the mid-pack is currently happening. The 33 blinked for a moment. Kendorian Davis in the 51 has no more fast repairs. He's going to try and do everything he can to continue moving upwards. Some contact right in behind. It's a lot of commotion all of a sudden with 27 laps remaining.
27 laps remaining. These drivers are desperate for every position they can get. As you look there at the number 36 machine of George Jewell on the Veterans for Life Foundation machine, trying to march his way back up to the front. He started in a 12th position. He's running in 14th right now. You can see number 13 of Bobby Germain getting underneath him. Look at these trucks, 3 wide throughout the whole track.
This is quite intense. You gotta just wonder how long are they gonna be able to race this intense. How about not any longer? Tommy Lemley almost goes over and under and comes back to all 4s. Caution is out. A massive incident that surprisingly wasn't as big as it could have been when it started.
Wow, that incident happened so fast. Let's get a look at this Maconi Entertainment replay coming off of turn number 4 down the front stretch. Tries to come up just a little bit, and it looked like, I believe that's the number 37 truck that was to his inside, and that's going to be Jacob Lanke in that truck. I'm not sure if the 30, looks like he got a little loose right there. Oh, Lanke looks like he maybe was just coming down. Not sure if he knew it. I believe they were 4 wide right there coming out of turn 4. Just a lot happening very quick.
I mean, it was only a matter of time before we saw something like that happen once again. Goodness me. An Atlanta Falcons truck almost went over on its lid. And I wonder how much damage there really was to Lemley right there, because it's not like he hit anything massively hard. So, yeah, he does not use a fast repair there. Real quick, let's talk a little bit about INVETS, the title sponsor of this Sunday Truck Series, founded by veterans for veterans, and it aids in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They're a veteran nonprofit here in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. INVETS, of course, is the title partner. And also, let's give a shout out to Lincoln Tech. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They are one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses. They're the title sponsor of the Fall Series, and in general, a very large partner of GLR, as many trucks have taken down the pit road for potentially the final time in this race. 4 tires, some new little injection of Sunoco fuel, and I think at this point they can get to the end of it with what they've got currently.
Looks like the top 8 trucks stayed out this time. Brandon Wallace, the last truck to stay out. Lucas Lyons in 9th place is the first truck. Looks like he was only in his box for 5.7 seconds, so I believe that will be a fuel-only stop just to top it off to make it to the end, potentially, as we ride again on board with Brandon Wallace, as we are now pacing just halfway through this first race of the playoffs. A lot of drivers having their playoffs really close to the edge, already over. Only 2 races here. We got 1.5 races basically already left, and boy, time is winding down very quickly.
Quickly indeed, and you know, once this round of 12 race is over, it's going to give us a very clear indication, as I think Brandon knows he's on the broadcast. Said a quick hello for sure in that 99 machine. You know, I wonder if Brandon's listening as well. If you're listening, Brandon, give us some indication of it, because that would be a skill. I've done it before, but I haven't run up front. I've done it. It's a difficult thing to do, broadcast and be a part of a series that you're racing in right now. Little smirk. Yeah, he knows.
Well,
he knows. Yeah. Love it. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Love it. Well, Eddie Smith is going to be restarting with the lead of this race right here. Lucas Lyons went all 4 tires, and Lyons, of course, was in the pits, and now he'll restart from 10th. Lyons won the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award, and by the way, let's talk about Jam Printing and Promotions real quick before we go back to Green Flag Racing from Plainfield, Indiana. Local, veteran certified, and when we do well, we can do more good in the community. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with GoatLocker Racing since the very beginning and provide GLR with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. Jam is GLR's go-to promotional company. And of course, Lucas Lyons won the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award. For now, though, that means nothing. He's going to restart at the tail end of the top 10, while Eddie Smith alongside Brett Bieber will get going here for the green flag with 22 laps to go. Smith gets away beautifully. Brett Bieber caught napping just a tad, and Jeremiah Holt tries to go underneath Bieber and take position number 2 away.
Holt drove it in there extremely deep, trying to get to the back bumper of the Smith machine just to try to have a chance. He's going to have a run going down the backstretch. Is he going to do anything about it? But we're too wide. Oh, we got trucks flipping in the back.
Oh my goodness, Johnny Cofield flipped up against the outside wall. Or James Kaufman, I should say. More drivers all scattering away. And for just coming out of a flip, that's a remarkably good-looking vehicle still.
I was just going to say, Dylan, now we're past the halfway mark. Drivers are going to be extremely desperate to get any position they can. We'll see what transpired here. We'll get another view. It might have been like almost 5 wide there. As you can see, James Kaufman truck up on its side and lands back on all 4 there.
That's incredible. I mean, he's just driving away with it. He's doing what Tyler Reddick couldn't do at the Las Vegas Cup race a few weeks ago, flipping it and continuing to drive it, but it doesn't look like there's much damage on that 10 machine. Let's take another look at it. I mean, he didn't go completely over. You know, he went on his driver's side or his passenger side door and then came back to all 4s, so could have been worse. There's Cameron Wessenberg, at one time was the leader of this race. He just kind of got sandwiched right there. Wessenberg was in the middle of 3 wide, but technically, I guess you could say, you know, Kaufman and, you know, every other driver right here were on board with Wessenberg again. They just didn't know that there was another driver on the inside and the outside of that deal. That was Ricky Sisk Jr. in the number 12 that was on the outside wall. So just that's a racing incident to me. And we'll probably get going back to green with 17 to go.
Very few laps left to go because they're definitely going away quick. Drivers are trying to do everything they can, and this looks like Kaufman maybe didn't know he was going to be basically 3 wide right there because the one truck on the all the way on the outside wasn't there yet. So it might have been hard to tell from his perspective. Things happen quickly on these restarts when everybody's bunched up like that. Trying to get every position that they can. One driver though, it's having no trouble. That's the number 87 of Eddie Smith at the point, leading a bunch of laps here tonight. Let's I think we can get a word with Ricky Sisk here.
Ricky, you got a copy?
I got a copy.
Ricky, you're on the broadcast on Maconi Entertainment right now. That was a wild ride. You were on the outside of it all. Just take us through your view.
Oh, I restarted 6th and everything, and just somebody forced me like 3 wide going in the corner and hung me out. So I just kind of lost all the draft and losing spots whenever everything happened, and just everybody started wrecking in front of me. I just saw the big old X in front of me, right in front of me. I don't know what else to say.
What it seemed like from watching the replays, it was just kind of driver was in the middle of 3 wide, one on the bottom, didn't necessarily know that there were 3 drivers. It wasn't completely symmetrical and looked like a racing accident from our view, but nonetheless, it doesn't feel that way when you're involved in a big one like that. Do you have any more fast repairs, or did you use it right there?
Nah, I didn't get much damage from that, actually. I didn't even use my fast repair.
All right, so you can go full out, full throttle till the end of this one. Appreciate the time, Ricky, and hey, best of luck. You're still in the lead lap.
Yep, that's kind of rare for me.
I know the... Oh, Ricky, he's going to restart from 22nd. Chance Taylor is also on the lead lap. He'll be in 23rd. Ricky Riley, the only driver not on the lead lap, currently 3 laps down in 24th and off track, so he'll continue to lose laps here as Eddie Smith and Jeremiah Holt will start on that first row with 18 laps to go. We'll go back to green flag racing. So a quickie caution it is because Riley is not on track. It's rare that we have this many drivers in the field still on the lead lap. Excited to see how this finishes out. Everyone should be good to go to the end of this race now. And with 18 laps to go, Eddie Smith, looking for another win, gets us going again.
$18 laps to go. The only strategy right now is go to the front, go get the lead, get every position you can, side by side for second. McCarthy and Holt with Lucas Lyons now making it 3 wide, almost for second down the backstretch.
Oh man, you see everyone trying to shuffle for position there into turn 3, 3 wide. McCarthy shoves one driver up against the outside groove. That was Jeremiah Holt that got shuffled out of position. And guess who's back in a second? It's Lucas Lyons who covers off McCarthy at the bottom across the stripe.
Lucas Lyons started first. He was the fastest truck. He gets to the inside of the 87 of Eddie Smith. Trying to give everything he can, but he's not going to have the momentum off the exit as Eddie Smith is running that half a lane higher. Keeps the momentum off of turn 1 and 2. We'll have to see what transpires, but further on back, you got the 25 of Colton Lanford, who was involved in an incident earlier on, now finding his way right there to the top 5, trying to get to the inside of Brandon Wallace in the 99.
You gotta go for it when you get the opportunity, and that's exactly what we saw from Lucas Lyons. Eddie Smith still leads the way, though. We're on board with Colton Lanford. Look at him sawing at that Fanatec NASCAR wheel. Slides into corner number 1. Brandon Wallace made him arrow tight, and now Lanford's gonna have to save it. Almost gets into that outside wall, but has momentum. Goes to the bottom of Wallace, packs air on the left rear quarter panel as they storm into turn 3. That Diamond Mountain Dew Chevy Silverado making headways.
Trying to send it in around the bottom to 3 and 4 to slide up in front of the 99 of Wallace. He's going to complete that pass. We'll see if Wallace, though, can get back to his outside, but it looks like he's just going to get to the back of the 25 of Lanford and just push him as that top 5 battle seems to have now settled itself out. We've got a 3-truck battle for the lead here as Jeremiah Holt trying to push the 17 up there to get to the back bumper of Eddie Smith.
This is just awesome racing. Lots of fun to watch with you all here. Lyons pushes Smith into the corner, coming to 14 laps to go. And even though Lyons is keeping Smith honest here, so is Jeremiah Holt, so is Michael McCarthy and the rest of this field. Lyons has a run down that front straightaway. He pushed Smith up high on corner entry. It's given Lyons a bit of a run going into 1, but is he going to be able to take advantage of it? It appears not yet. However, if he's able to deal with that wake laid in the dirty air of Smith, he'll get a run down this back straight.
I believe Lucas Lyons, if he doesn't take the words of the mouth, is trying to be smart here and not trying to get to the inside of that 87 to lose all his momentum that he has gained. Being patient as they are 3 wide for 3rd as we got a yellow on the track.
Caution is out just as things were getting interesting up front. And oh man, a big incident. The 32 of Wessenberg involved, as well as James Kaufman and Benjamin Stevens. So lots of drivers getting involved in multiple incidents here. And what happened on this replay? Wessenberg, we're on board with him. And oh goodness, Stevens! That was a massive hit to the outside wall. Not sure who turned him. Just crazy things.
Not only do we have great racing up front, but these drivers back here had some great racing as well. As you can see, a 3 wide down the backstretch there into turns 3 and 4, trying to get every position they can with under 15 laps to go. Looking at the 24 of Benjamin Stevens, he gets right hooked, unfortunately, by the number 97 of Cofield. I'm not sure if he just came up a little bit there, but unfortunately, the end result was not good as several drivers involved.
Several drivers going to need that fast repair unless they've already used it. This is on board with Kaufman. Nothing he could do about that. Didn't get too badly hurt there on that right front contact. I mean, Benjamin Stevens, though, he got absolutely the worst of it. He slid up into the 97 and went way up into the wall. A hard hit for him. You know, it's racing hard at the end of a race. I would almost put more of the blame there, though, on Benjamin Stevens, unfortunately. He kind of turned himself there. But many drivers down pit road. This is the money stop, right? No more stops needed. Everyone getting fresh tires here. And Bobby Germain decides to stay out on old tires. Lucas Lyons, what happened to him? Is this a speeding penalty? What is going on here? Lucas Lyons, that is pretty much race ending there. Fighting for the win of this race. I think he got nabbed with a speeding penalty of some sort. But he is, yeah, he's coming out now. It had to be a penalty that kept him in there.
One of the drivers that we were feeling was going to have something for Eddie Smith up there at the front. He was working together there with Jeremiah Holt, trying to work their way past that 87 truck. He was so dominant. It looks like Bobby Germain in the number 13 truck, Maconi Setup Shop on the hood, has decided to stay out late in the race, maybe gain some positions. Maybe not. We'll see if he can win the race. You know, he's got, looks like about 8 laps on his tires. If he doesn't win the race, at least have a positive gain.
Yeah, I mean, I think this isn't a bad move from Germain. He's going to be struggling a little bit against all these drivers with fresh tires, and you know, restart with 10 laps to go. That's 20 miles. He is not going to win this race, and I'll eat my keyboard if that ends up being incorrect here. Lucas Lyons, but we see on your screen penalty for sure, and he will start from 21st position with 10 laps to go. I feel like him winning this race is as likely now as Bobby Germain winning this race. But stranger things have happened. Quick cautions and Lyons avoids some of the incidents that might happen. You know, there's always different things that could happen. But Bobby Germain, at the very least, leading laps here and will get this field restarted. Excited to see what he's going to do in that 13 truck with Maconi Setup Shop on the hood.
We'll have to see how it pans out, as every driver pretty much on the lead lap has fresh tires except for the Bobby Germain machine. Can he hold off the 20 other drivers to have himself at least a decent finish as the pace truck makes that left-hand turn down? Here we go.
We will certainly find out with 10 laps, 20 miles to go here. Do we stay green the rest of the way? There's only one way to find out. Germain leads the field to the green. Does not have as good of a restart as Eddie Smith has had in recent jumps. Partially, I would say that's probably because of the age of the tires, and immediately Germain just kind of misses that apex. Eddie Smith goes by him and clears him. Smith to the race lead, and they're working down into that inside wall. A heavy hit for Tommy Lemley. Green stays out. He didn't get turned around.
We'll take a look at this replay for the 30 machine of Tommy Lemley. Not sure where he was running at the time, but unfortunately gets just to the inside there of the 97 of Johnny Cofield and finds himself into the inside wall, and that left front looks extremely broke. Right now, Cofield is running in the 9th position, so I've got to believe he was right there on the edge of the top 10. He is attempting to take it down to pit road, as we got a yellow on the track anyways.
Can't quite yet see what the reason for the yellow is. We're going to try and find that now, but this will set up a restart with around 6 laps, maybe even 5 laps remaining in the race once we get going again. Was it just Tommy Lemley who brought out the caution? Benjamin Stevens is in the back of the field, and let's take a look here. What could be the cause for this caution? Benjamin Stevens, slow. He's racing in the middle of the pack, and you see the 51 and the 97 up in front. Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's a massive spin and another massive hit for Kaufman. His day is not going well here. Another hit for Stevens. Jacob Lenke just lost it coming out of turn number 4. A really low entry into turn 3. Has a lot more heat into those right side tires. He doesn't look comfortable whatsoever. Loses control. I mean, a little bit of netcode. I don't know.
There's a lot happening late in the game.
Pretty
a lot
much.
of drivers are out there just giving it all they can, trying to get every position they can. And when you get behind somebody, you get trucks all around you. You know, you're losing air on your left, you're losing air on the front, rear. It just can give yourself a handful as you're right on board with Jacob Lenke here. Oh yeah, a little bit of wheel to the right. You can see, oh, it just gets a little contact from that right side as well as he was trying to save it.
Just looked like he got way too high there. And there might have been a little bit of netcode that came into play, but he didn't look comfortable or secure at all going through those 2 corners. You know, we'll have to see. He might have even gotten a penalty if he went through the pit road exit there. We'll have to find out. But more drivers down into the pits. Kaufman, Stevens, Lenke, of course, and Tommy Lemley getting repairs right now. With 8 laps to go before we see the checkered flag. We're under caution, and we'll be back on Maconi Entertainment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hey everybody, Patrick here with GoatLocker Racing. We got the truck loaded up, getting ready to head north up to Muncie, Indiana. About an hour-and-a-half drive. Get this sim rig in the hands of Josh Unger, our newest veteran that has joined the GoatLocker Racing family. Can't wait to get it in his hands. Folks, we just pulled up, so let's get this thing delivered. Alrighty, that was a whole lot of fun. Got the sim rig dropped off to Josh. He's as excited as could be. Got to meet his 2 boys, his wife, and everything. He's gonna get everything set up and ready to race. So congratulations again, Josh. Welcome to the GoatLocker Racing family, and thanks to everybody that makes this happen. I want to give a special shout out to the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs and the grant they gave us to make this happen. INVETS, you guys are awesome. You are the ones that helped us identify this veteran and so many more. So stay tuned. We got more sim rigs rolling out, and be sure to follow us on all the social media and head over to our website, www.goatlocker.org. Take care.
We're back at Michigan International Speedway in the INVETS Trucks Series and GoatLocker Racing. Green flag back in the air. 6 laps to go here as Eddie Smith will lead the barreling pack down the backstretch. Jeremiah Holt and Michael McCarthy fighting for P2. Massive playoff implications if they're able to get a victory here tonight. It is round 1. Well, race 1 of the round of 12. Only 2 races in the round of 12 before we dwindle it down to 8 drivers. 5 to go as I cross the stripe.
Playoff hopes winding down as well, as these drivers only got 2 races to do it in this first round, side by side between Holt and McCarthy. Right there for second. Extremely close racing action as the fourth place truck of Colton Lantford now trying to put his nose into that mix.
Misfits Racing, by the way. Misfit Racing Leagues, that I should say, just donated $50 to GoatLocker Racing. We quite appreciate your support of first responders and veterans. Jeremiah Holt leading this field with 4 laps to go. He is on fire, as right behind Eddie Smith is Michael McCarthy. Eddie Smith and Holt make contact, and that is race over for Holt. How did that start?
Oh my, let's take a look at this replay. As McCarthy found himself in the lead. Eddie Smith was all over his back bumper right here down the fence stretch,
Holt,
just
that
pushing
is.
him. Excuse me, Holt.
This is the first time that I feel like we've seen Eddie Smith have a foot go wrong. I mean,
I don't know if he was just trying to be super aggressive with that side draft or expected him to go a lot lower. I don't know what happened there.
even still, it didn't appear that Jeremiah Holt turned down or turned up at all. I think this is just Eddie Smith. The onus to me is on Eddie Smith in that one. And we will have to wait to see what race control says, but that is a massive moment with Eddie Smith. Probably the first wrong move that he has made so far in this series. He's won the last 4 races. Holt's not a playoff driver. This still could have been a massive victory for him. Instead, we're going to have a green-white checkered, I believe the first of 2 officially here. And what a moment, and a decision will probably have to be made by race control.
The EOL has been given to the number 87 machine to be the cause of that caution. And that looks like that might do it for Eddie Smith's hopes on winning this first race of the playoffs.
Anybody can win this race now. I mean, it's sort of turned on its head. Lucas Lyons, by the way, he's back up to 9th after Eddie Smith goes to the back. Bobby Germain in 3rd, so they could both still win this race. Michael McCarthy, Colton Lanford, I mean, those
Lanford
2
was in an
drivers.
incident early on.
Lanford was in the first incident, and don't forget, you know, a win here gets them into the round of 8. Lanford and McCarthy are both tied at that bottom tier of, and I say bottom tier, everyone except for 4 drivers are tied at 1,000 points now. David Duke's got 1,008, and you don't see David Duke in this field at all, so he might have to win the race next weekend to get into the round of 8. Benjamin Stevens obviously has had a lot go wrong in this one, currently at the tail end of the lead lap. Andrew Player, he's up to 4th right now. We haven't talked about him almost at all in this race. Tyler Justice, he's in 12th. Chance Taylor, he's had a rough go of it, but he's still in 15th place. Kendorian Davis is up to 6th. I mean, all these drivers around that cut line, a win here would be incredible. Michael McCarthy, Colton Lanford, Andrew Player, Brandon Wallace, Kendorian Davis, all those drivers, a win here would move them into the round of 8 without even having to worry about how the race next weekend goes at Richmond. Massive moments here, and we've got that first green-white checkered coming up in a lap or 2.
As Eddie Smith took his truck to the garage, we'll get ready to come to a green-white checkered attempt. We've got 2 attempts here tonight. McCarthy, Lanford, your front row. We'll see who's going to come out as the winner. Cameron Westenberg right there, running 11th in that number 32 machine. He was involved in a few incidents tonight. Not of some, I'm not saying of their doing, but just been part of just a lot going on here tonight here at Michigan. First race of the playoffs. It's been pretty wild. The speeds here are so fast, 190 miles an hour down these straightaways. These drivers are giving it all they can with the playoffs hopes on the line.
They really are doing everything they possibly can to get a win here and maybe get themselves into that next round. Goodness me. We've got some storylines here.
Especially with the drivers that aren't in the playoffs. You know, they want to win too. You know, anybody can win right now. This is the greatest thing I like about NASCAR and its playoff systems. You know, even teams that are out still can dip their hand and get some victories.
It is quite amazing. And at Michigan, it's been a heck of a race. And Michael McCarthy will restart from the lead of it. Is he 2 laps away from getting the checkered flag? Or is it Colton Landford, maybe even Bobby Germain on the oldest tires of everybody in the field? Tommy Lemley ducks down into the pits, and we're back to green flag racing. 2 laps to go. Green-white checkered number 1. Landford will go down to the middle, and Michael McCarthy will take a long apex into corner number 1. Puts a lot of dirty air onto the front bumpers of Landford and Bobby Germain, who goes side by side with Andrew Player. The top 4 have started to break away.
Now up to 185 miles an hour down to the end of this straightaway, down the backstretch through turns 3 and 4. Drivers for second and third. Player, Landford.
McCarthy pushes high.
He does. We're going to have a heck of a battle coming here to the white flag.
1 lap to go. Next flag's the checkered. Landford pushes McCarthy high side into corner number 1. Andrew Player is right there. Almost contact between Player and Landford. Landford has to go way high. Bobby Germain has to deal with it down on the bottom. Almost 2 by 2, 3 wide almost for the lead of this race. Who's going to win it? McCarthy getting pushed by Landford. He goes up high. McCarthy follows to block. They all storm into 3 and 4. Just a few hundred yards before we see the checkered. McCarthy still holds the lead. Landford in the draft. Down low is Andrew Player, but it's going to be Michael McCarthy who hangs on and wins at Michigan International Speedway. What a finish.
Absolutely phenomenal driving by that number 3 truck of Michael McCarthy to hold off all the moves there by Colton Landford, giving it all he could trying to get around that number 3 truck. What a race.
What a race indeed. You can't really ask for anything better than what we just got. A bit of a shocker. Michael McCarthy, it's his first victory of the season and a playoff opening victory for the driver of the number 3 Toyota Tundra machine. He's going to burn it down, and we will be right back here on Maconi Entertainment. A few words from our partners. McCarthy wins it here.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi's Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
What a finish here in the final laps at Michigan International Speedway. Michael McCarthy wins the INVETS Trucks Series Sunday night race in GoatLocker Racing action. You're back on Maconi Entertainment. Dylan Coyle, Jeremy Briggs, bringing you now the full results of McCarthy winning the race by just 700ths over Colton Landford, who had a fantastic run after being involved in an early race incident. Andrew Player finishes third, Kendorian Davis and Brett Bieber your top 5. Bobby Germain in 6th, Lucas Lyons recovers for a 7th place finish. Hey, those 2 drivers I talked about, they ended up right next to each other by the end of the race. Cameron Wessenberg recovers for an 8th place. George Jewell, Brandon Wallace, your top 10 finishers. In 11th is Tyler Justice with Travis Bieber, Johnny Cofield, James Kaufman, Charles Abert, Chance Taylor, Jacob Lenke, Ricky Siska Jr., and Benjamin Stevens, your 19 lead lap finishers. Eddie Smith will finish 4 laps down in 20th after a late caution that he caused. Thomas Parker, Jeremiah Holt, Tommy Lemley, and Ricky Riley, 24 drivers that round it all off here on Maconi Entertainment. Well, it's time to talk to our podium finishers. And of course, the race winner is Michael McCarthy. And Michael, just an unbelievable show of defense at the end right there. Are the nerves, are they still, is your heart rate still high?
Hands are shaking a little bit, to be honest, trying to block the 25 from getting. He had a couple good runs there at the end, so it was a good race altogether. I got to thank Eddie Smith for taking out Holt there in the beginning, giving me my shot.
That was a wild way to set it up there, but you know, Colton Landford definitely had a few massive runs, but somehow you kept positioning your truck perfectly to negate that. Do you feel like, you know, there were any other moments throughout this race that kind of put you in that position where if something happened like it did, you could end up competing for the race win like you did?
I felt like I had a fast truck all night. You know, I restarted. I was in one of those wrecks and like in the first record 3 or whatever it was in the beginning. I just had to restart all the way back, and then caution came out a few laps later, and I was up like 10 spots, and then a bunch of guys pitted on one of those when there was like 16 to go, and just to take fuel, and then we had to take tires anyway, so I just stayed out. I pretty much just did whatever Eddie Smith was going to do. So I just stayed out and then got tires because I just knew there was going to be another caution down the road. So just took tires and gas later on, and that was the deciding factor right there.
Obviously, it led to the race win. I know you gave a shout out earlier to Eddie Smith, but anyone else you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yes, sir. Gonna give a shout out to Lincoln Tech, Hiddenwood Brewery, Cruisin Classics, Nasty's Bar, Veterans for Life Racing, Veterans for Life Foundation, INVETS, Jam Printing Promotions, Maconi Setup Shop, V-Speed, and NASCAR 360. Well, everybody go out to GoatLocker.com/donations. Donate. It's a good cause. Shout out to the wife and kid. I'm about to go take some NyQuil and pass out. So
And that is also apparently a plug for NyQuil. Congratulations, Michael, on the victory.
thank you, sir. See ya.
Michael McCarthy with the race win there. He seems like he is worn out from that race victory. But Jeremy, you are standing by with the man who finished in second, and that's Colton Lanford.
We are definitely standing by with the number 25 of Colton Lanford, man. An incident early on, but out of all this, you found yourself coming home in second place here tonight. Finding yourself, looks like third in the playoffs going into the next round or next race, man. What a run tonight, man. Walk us through it.
Yeah, no. Man, I don't know if y'all caught me yelling the very not friendly word after that first caution, but no, I was just trying to be careful, pick up speed where I can get it, just trying to stay out of trouble. And next thing I know, I'm sitting in fourth, and next thing it's I'm in second, fighting for the win. And man, that was that was excruciating. Like my chest felt like it was about to explode, just being so nervous.
And you said it right there, fighting for the win, man. What did you need to do to get around that number 3 truck? Because it looks like he was getting it just right.
Yeah, I was given a shot, trying to run him on the outside if I can get a run, but by the time I got my truck back around, it was too late. He got the slide job on me, and unfortunately, I couldn't get this Dark Knight paint scheme to victory lane.
Well, you came up one position short from locking yourself in, but you definitely got yourself in a good position going into next week, man. Looking forward to next week. Who you got to thank for getting you here tonight?
Uh, you know, V Speed, INVETS for sure. Can't do anything without them. Same with Jam Printing and Promotions. You guys over at Maconi Entertainment, Maconi Setup Shop, and my personal sponsor, the Collision Clinic out in Madison County, Georgia.
Well, congratulations, man. You almost took that Dark Knight scheme back to victory lane. Hopefully, we'll see you later on the playoffs.
That sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Colton Lanford, your second place finisher. And then now that we're done with Colton, we'll grab Andrew Player, our third place finisher. Really wasn't in the mix. It felt like too much when we were talking about towards the front. But Andrew, you find yourself in a podium position and a really good spot in the playoffs going into next week, man. Walk us through your night.
I was trying to do some strategy early on, just trying to. I know that this place is a fuel mileage track a lot of times, and if it stayed green, I was just trying to put myself in the best position to be there at the end. But it still kind of worked out pretty good. I was able to have enough tires and fuel there at the end. Made kind of a run back from I think like 12th up to third. So I'll take it. It's a pretty decent night.
A pretty decent night. I believe you might have yourself seated second place in the playoffs right now, man. What are your expectations for next week? I believe we're going to Richmond.
They're fairly low because I'm not going to be on my normal sim rig next week, so it's going to be kind of a mess to try and hang on to see how I do and make it through the next round. It's not going to be pretty, so it's going to be just survive.
Well, Andrew, it sounds like you gave us some type of storyline for next week. Congratulations on this week's third place finish. Who do you have to thank?
Well, I got to thank Maconi Setup Shop. They've been my sponsor for a long time. I appreciate their support. We've got a whole host of sponsors that make this happen. GoatLocker Racing, and go GoatLockerRacing.com and help support them. And they are a charity that helps out our veterans. We got Lincoln Tech. We've got Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs. They're the primary sponsor for this league, so appreciate them. Cruisin Classics, Jam Printing, B-Speed. There's just a whole lot of folks out here that make this happen. I really appreciate their support for a great cause and allow us to have some fun out here on Sunday nights.
Well, we appreciate you coming on board to be part of the entertainment and part of the cause. We will hopefully talk to you in the future.
All right. Have a good night. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you as well. And that was Andrew Player, our third place finisher. as I grabbed the wrong person to bring in to the Discord, we now have everybody realigned.
Did you just throw me out of the Discord?
No, actually I grabbed DJ. I threw DJ for a ride there. Sorry about that.
I know producer DJ is all good. Can't quite see what's going on in the broadcast right now, but I can tell you one thing for sure. As Richmond is next weekend's race. It's the final race of the round of 12, and I think it'll be under the lights. 8 o'clock is when you're going to be able to tune in to Maconi Entertainment to watch it. Michael McCarthy gets the win, and just an FYI, David Duke, because he didn't show up, he's now minus 23 points. He goes from leading and winning the regular season championship to now on the verge of being out of the next round of the playoffs. He needs to win to be given a shot at moving into that next round. But it's been a lot of fun here, Jeremy. And if you're done throwing people out and, tossing them to the garbage in Discord, what would you like to say about the final portion of that race?
Well, besides trying to botch this awesome broadcast at the end here, this racing was great here tonight. I'm really excited for next week at Richmond. These drivers are going to be at a short track, going from this 190 miles an hour back down to that short track. Dylan, I'm excited.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see. Everyone, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to Maconi Entertainment. Dylan Coyle, Jeremy Briggs, DJ Lyon, bringing the action from Michigan. INVETS Truck Series action. Good night and good racing.